Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging right into the past, specifically into Bodie Ghost Town, way up in California's eastern Sierra Nevada.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating place.
Totally. The articles and, those personal accounts of paranormal stuff you share, plus the details on how they preserve it, that's our jumping off point.
Right. And the goal, like always, is to really pull out the most compelling bits about Bodie. More than just dates and names, right?
Exactly. We want to get the character, the mysteries. We know you listening want the key insights, fast but deep. So memorable details, those aha moments, but not overwhelming you. Let's unpack Bodie.
It's definitely more than just, ruins. Based on the stuff you sent over, Bodie's this incredibly well-preserved window into a really dramatic slice of American history.
Yeah.
And what's really striking, think about how societies shift quickly, is how gold, just one resource, could create this explosion of a town, and then poof, it's gone just as fast.
Spot on. So our dive starts right at the beginning. This guy, William S. Bodie, B-O-D-E-Y, finds gold in 1859.
The namesake.
Right. But the kicker, the articles say he died in a blizzard soon after, never even saw the town named after him.
Oh, wow. Rough start.
Seriously. But his find lit the fuse. The area turned into a mining camp pretty quickly. And then the town pops up, named for him, but they spelled it wrong. B-O-D-I-E. No E.
Huh. That little misspelling, it kind of says a lot, doesn't it? About how rough and ready things were back then.
Totally. Just slap a name on it.
But the real boom, according to that timeline you had, wasn't until later, right? 1876.
Yeah, the Standard Company hit a massive gold vein. And that was the trigger. Suddenly, everyone wanted a piece of Bodie.
That's the classic boomtown dynamic, isn't it? One big strike and suddenly you've got a gold rush on your hands, people flooding in.
Flooding is right. Those population numbers, you found nearly 10,000 people by the late 1870s. Think about that. 10,000 people in the middle of nowhere, basically.
It's incredible. A proper town almost overnight.
And there's that quote, maybe apocryphal, but still, attributed to a little girl moving there. Goodbye, God. We are gonna Bodie.
Wow. Yeah, that tells you something about the town's reputation, doesn't it?
It really does. Like leaving civilization, maybe morality too, behind.
Well, it speaks to that shift in priorities.
Yeah.
Gold fever. People were willing to risk everything, maybe bend the rules, embrace the chaos for a shot at wealth. Bodie represented that, I think.
Chaos feels right. Bodie got notorious. Fast. The history you dug up paints a pretty wild picture, like 65 saloons just on Main Street. For a mile.
65, that's a lot of drinking.
And gambling halls, brothels in the red light district. The stories mention shootouts, brawls. It sounds intense.
But, looking at the bigger picture from your sources, it wasn't just anarchy. There were signs of, actual community building, too.
True. It wasn't purely lawless. They had a Wells Fargo bank, which is a big deal. Fire departments, plural.
And a railroad, connecting it to the outside world. That's significant infrastructure. It shows an attempt at stability, even if things were still pretty rough.
Right. And we can't forget Chinatown. Hundreds of Chinese residents, a big part of the town's life and economy, according to that article. They had their own temple, businesses.
And opium dens, apparently,
yeah.
Which just adds another layer to the complexity of the place.
Definitely. So it's this mix, isn't it? Wild West reputation, but also banks, railroads, diverse communities.
Yeah. How do you square that circle? The violence was real, no doubt, but people were also building lives, businesses, trying to make something there. Still, life was undeniably hard.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond the saloon fights, think about the mining itself. Your articles mention how dangerous it was. Cave-ins, explosions, deadly work.
Mm-hmm. And the weather. Brutal Sierra Nevada winters. Those blizzards killed people, too. It wasn't just about getting shot, was it?
Not at all. Just surviving day to day was tough. And like we said, it was all tied to the gold once that started running out.
The boom couldn't last. The sources show the gold veins dwindling by the 1880s. That's when people started leaving, the beginning of the end.
And things got worse with the panic of 1893, right? That economic crash hit mining towns hard.
Yeah, it accelerated the decline. People just packed up and moved on, looking for the next boom, probably.
There were a few attempts later to revive mining, but nothing really stuck. The last mine shut down for good in 1942.
And by then, Bodie was pretty much empty. That account you found from the 40s described it as almost totally deserted. From 10,000 people to ghosts.
A classic boom and bust story.
Exactly. A pattern you see again and again with resource towns.
Which leads us to Bodie today. It became a state historic park in 1962, and their whole preservation philosophy is fascinating. Arrested decay.
Yeah, that's the key phrase. They're not trying to make it look new again. They're just stopping the clock. Preventing buildings from collapsing, but leaving them as they were found, more or less.
Freezing it in time.
It raises an interesting point, doesn't it? By not restoring it, are they preserving a more authentic story? The story of decline, not just the heyday. Something to think about.
And the scale is amazing. One source said over 170 buildings left. Another said over 100. Either way, it's a lot. About 10% of the original town's still standing.
Imagine walking through that. Those visitor accounts you read. They make it sound totally surreal. Like stepping into an old photo.
Yeah, tables set, shops with stuff still on the shelves, like everyone just vanished.
That tangible sense of the past, you can see why people feel something there. It's not just old wood. It feels inhabited somehow, which probably fuels all the ghost stories.
Oh, definitely. And Bodie's got a serious ghostly reputation, not just a ghost town, but a haunted town. Those personal accounts you found were pretty spooky.
It almost seems inevitable, right? A place with that much intense history, sudden abandonment. It's fertile ground for ghost stories, apparitions, weird noises.
Like the woman in white wandering around,
Right.
or a figure with a light down in the mines. Creepy.
And the phantom music. From the empty saloons. Yeah, that would definitely make the hair on your neck stand up.
Totally. And specific buildings are hotspots, often linked to the families who lived there, like the J.S. Kane house.
Right. The banker's house. Haunted by a Chinese woman, the stories say. Your research had some detailed accounts.
Yeah, kids reportedly saw a nice lady, maybe a former maid or nanny.
But not always nice, apparently. Rangers and their families living there mentioned unsettling stuff, feeling pushed, trouble breathing.
One ranger's wife felt like something was sitting on her chest. Yikes.
And the local lore ties it to this tragic story, right? A maid fired in winter, maybe died by suicide? It's a sad explanation for the alleged haunting.
Definitely adds a dark layer. Then there's the Gregory house. An old woman knitting, or maybe Spence Gregory himself.
Yeah, reports of the rocking chair moving by itself, impressions on the bed like someone was sitting there. Classic ghost stuff.
And the DeChambeau House Hotel, post office, bar supposedly has a woman's ghost looking out an upstairs window. Wonder who she was waiting for.
Makes you wonder. The Mendocini house, too, home to an Italian family. That one's interesting, smells of garlic and cooking. Sounds of parties. Kids laughing.
It's like an echo of the life that used to be there. Almost comforting in a weird way.
Compared to the mines, maybe. They're said to be haunted, too, which isn't surprising. That story about the ranger yelling back at a ghostly voice after throwing rocks down a shaft. Bold move.
Yeah, maybe not the recommended procedure. And the ghost mule. Smelling mule droppings underground. That's specific.
Highlights the mining dangers, maybe. Even the animals weren't safe.
The cemetery, too. The angel of body. Evelyn's grave. Claims of kids giggling, playing with something unseen.
A bit sad, but also kind of sweet, if true. But then you've got the Boot Hill graveyard for the outcasts. The unmarked Chinese graves. Potential for unrest there, some believe.
Yeah, that lack of proper burial, the segregation, it adds to the unsettling vibe. And that story about Ed, the guy who murdered his wife, got killed, and then supposedly haunted his killers until they died.
That's some serious spectral revenge. Really ramps up the whole don't mess with Bodie feeling.
Which brings us perfectly to the curse of Bodie.
Ah, yes, the curse. Very famous. The legend is, take anything, even a pebble, and bad luck follow.
And people swear by it. Your sources had those letters people sent back with stolen stuff. Tales of woe, accidents, health problems.
That one quote was great. You can have these godforsaken rocks back. Never had so much rotten luck. People genuinely believed it messed them up.
But the origin, likely a bit more down to earth, right? Started by the park rangers.
That's the rumor. A clever, if unofficial, way to stop people from looting the place. Psychological preservation.
Brilliant. Except it kind of backfired, didn't it?
Yeah, the unintended consequence. People started taking stuff just to see if the curse was real. Then they'd mail it back, creating this whole new headache for the rangers.
Having to deal with boxes of random rocks and nails showing up. No wonder the park doesn't talk about the curse much anymore.
Probably wise. So, despite all the ghosts and curses, Bodie is open. It's a park. People can visit.
Absolutely. They have tours, exhibits. You can really immerse yourself in the history. It's a unique chance to walk through a place just frozen.
Connect with that past. Feel the atmosphere. Maybe keep your hands in your pockets, though, just in case.
Good advice. So, wrapping up our deep dive for you today, We hit Bodie's crazy boom, the Wild West reality mixed with actual town building, the inevitable bust, and this unique arrested decay preservation.
Plus all those lingering ghost stories. And of course, the famous curse. Hopefully you got that sense of journeying through time with us.
Yeah, a tangible link to the past without getting bogged down.
Which leaves us with this final thought for you. Bodie is this amazing mix of hard history and persistent folklore. What does that tell us about boomtowns, about memory, about how we deal with the past?
Is that curse just a clever story, or does it reflect a genuine feeling that places like this deserve respect, that their history has weight?
Lots to ponder there. The layers of history and mystery in Bodie, they definitely stick with you. Thanks for taking the deep dive with us.